Hello everyone, thank you for joining us for the Wednesday edition of PNG Tonight. In the program, our girls bowed out on the soccer field but enriched by the experience and a strong statement for women in PNG. How mobile phones are to help fight against corruption, and Millen Bay becomes the nerve of a new management plan for an endangered fish species. An embarrassing exit for our girls as host of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup? Not so, says Lisa Cole, the team's coach. Look beyond the field and the scoreboard. The girls have unwittingly made big statements on violence against women. They have also elevated the status of women in this country to the highest level. With those achievements, the girls certainly have won. I talked to the coach earlier today. Lisa Cole, thank you for coming on to PNG Tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, you're the coach of the Papua New Guinea Under-20s in the Women's World Cup, the FIFA competition.
Yes.
We didn't quite make it.
No, I think going into this tournament, we knew that this tournament was about gaining experience. As the host country, we didn't qualify for the tournament, so our expectations were to come and get experience and to make sure that we played every game to the best of our ability.
Okay, so our involvement was not to be part of the competition, but to get that exposure and experience.
Yeah, FIFA has a great initiative of putting these U20, U17 World Cups in countries that are developing the game still. And so we qualified by being host, not by earning the right. New Zealand qualified out of OFC.
Okay. All right, let's talk about you for a moment. Sure. You're American?
I am.
Wow. All right. And you're the coach of the PNG team. How did that come about?
Yeah, well, we had I was at the FIFA Senior Women's World Cup in Canada, and at the time FIFA was looking and OFC was looking for some candidates to help PNG pick their women's coach. And a friend of mine put the word out and said, hey, would you be interested in this opportunity?
So FIFA picked you to be the coach of the PNG team?
No, they just helped spread the word. And then David Chung from PNGFA actually hired me. But OFC and FIFA were involved in advertising the position throughout the world to make sure that someone came in that could do the soccer but could also help put together a plan for the future as well.
Okay, all right. So how is our girls' soccer? Having seen what you saw.
Well, the players are great. They're developing. I think that PNG has a ton of potential within the players that are out there. The problem right now for them is that there isn't a lot of structure. There isn't a lot of development going on. So we're leaving it up to luck, for these players to develop rather than finding them and really getting them to participate.
Okay, leave it up to luck, Lisa. I mean, why did we do that? Have we not embarrassed our girls by saying, go there and we wish you luck, and not preparing them for an event of such significance?
Well, I think you did your best to prepare for this particular event, but I think if you look at soccer, both on the women's and the men's side, we don't have a formal program in place for kids that are 9, 10, and 11. And when you're 9, 10, and 11, that's when you acquire skill the quickest. So, if we learn how to golf when we're 9, 10, 11, our swing looks much better than when we go out and we try to learn how to golf.
You become
Yep. Exactly. So we need to get to kids early.
So what's the message now to authorities, to soccer people, to the government?
It's we need to continue this program. I think there's another group of players that are ready to qualify for the U20 World Cup. 11 of my players are eligible for the next U20 World Cup. Qualifying is on August. So I'd like to see the team.
11 of your players?
11 of mine.
PNG players?
Yeah, we were a young team. So 11 of them can play in the next U20 World Cup. So those 11 need to continue to be developed. We need to grab the next group of players, and we need to go qualify for the next U20 World Cup on our own right.
Sure. What do they need to do for that this group here haven't done?
I think this group has done the work. I think if we played a qualifying match against New Zealand, they still have a little bit of the upper hand against us, but I think we're close. A little more games, a little more experience, and I think this group can be competing on a regular basis with New Zealand. We're not going to always win. New Zealand's not always going to win, but let's go and make it a game. There's other countries within OFC that are also right on our tails, so we can't take it for granted that we'll be the best team in the Pacific unless we start to formalize what we're doing with our players.
It seems excuse me, it seems a far cry. In this country, rugby league is probably the game that people talk about. Soccer is here with men. It's the most skillful game of them all, they say. Soccer with women in Papua New Guinea. No.
Yeah, but it should be. I mean, the same is true in the U.S. You know, the U.S. women have been the #1 soccer country in the world. But the men play football, they play basketball, they play all these other sports. But Papua New Guinea is able to grasp these women and be able to put them in a spotlight where they can be the best in your area for this game if we're just given the opportunity. And I think for me, really, it'd be a missed opportunity if you don't continue this program, because we talk about ending violence against women. We talk about all having strong leadership, more women in government. Well, you can't, those skills are also acquired. Leadership is also acquired. So by giving these women a platform in sports, you're giving them a platform to go on. They won't play soccer forever, right? No. They're not going to be in football forever. So they go from that platform on to bigger and better things that are needed in this country.
Agreed, agreed. All the infrastructure, the facilities, what do you think about them?
Yeah, they did a tremendous job. I was a little worried early on, to be honest, about whether or not
we would have last-minute stuff.
Whether or not we'd have grass, and but they did a tremendous job. And having facilities is one part of it. But if you're not hosting programming, and if you don't have young kids out playing, then you're putting on events, not developing a country. So I think the key is to really make sure that we're not having all these one-off events, but we're actually having an impact in the communities.
Okay, all right. Quite interesting. The teams that have come here, they have had perceptions about this country.
Yep.
They have dispelled some and probably confirmed others. What has been yours?
Yeah, I mean, the news out there on Papua New Guinea, when you go into the internet, it's not good. What they say out there isn't true. I think there's parts of that is true. You obviously have a violence problem, and you need to have more jobs and other things, and you're still developing as a country. But the people here are wonderful. They're joyful. The passion that is in them is tremendous. So my experience here has been wonderful. I've enjoyed my time here. So I think
it's a bit your first too, isn't it, in this country?
Yeah, first time. So for me, I think what you've been able to do with this World Cup is you've been able to have these countries come in, and they're all going home singing your praises. So I hope that will increase tourism. So these events are important, but they can't be the only piece of the puzzle. You can't hold an event and then go on to everything the same as. You have to have these events, have created a buzz, and really increase what's happening with the people in country, and then also the opportunity to bring in tourism and have people think about Papua New Guinea in a different place.
Yeah, and also the camaraderie between the teams themselves in this country, in this strange country, in this country of uncertainty.
Yeah. The land of the unexpected. And you guys got that tagline right for sure. But it's been great. I think you're going to see people go back home and sing your praises.
Okay. The American team is continuing. Your team, if you like.
Yes.
How will they do? What do you think?
There's a ton of potential in that team. They've not necessarily brought all their best players, because some players elected to stay in their college seasons, but they have a really good squad, and with Mallory Pugh up front, who's played for our senior team, they have a star in her with a lot of good supporting cast, so they have a good chance of winning this World Cup.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll ask you not to be biased, but really, who do you think is going to go away with the cup?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'll be cheering for the USA,
Sure,
but the
sure.
North Koreans are unbelievable. They're technically sound and have a real resiliency in them. So I think Japan has been the best team in our age group for a long time. They won the U17 World Cup, and they're technically, and I think they had a slow start and now are continuing to improve. And the Germans are always going to be somebody that can contend. So I think we have some interesting matchups, and I think the U.S. is playing Mexico, so there's a familiarity with them. It's like PNG always playing New Zealand. You know
sure,
them, so
sure,
there's that
sure.
added just competition between the two of them. So who knows what will happen with that game? But hopefully the Americans will come out on top, and it'll be an interesting final.
Yep, I'm sure. I'm sure. Pitching for the climax, if you will. All right, our 20-year-old girl who scored that goal.
Yes.
What do you think about her?
It was amazing. Going into the tournament, we wanted, one of the things that I was trying to really make them believe is that I said to them, we are going to score a goal in this tournament. Be prepared to celebrate. Be prepared to have the country be proud of you. Because we knew the expectations were a little too high as far as other people thought. And I wanted the country to fall in love with the girls as we went through the tournament. So we talked about Brazil was tough. Right, that 9-0 loss was tough because we didn't play as well as we thought we could. We were kind of overtaken by the environment, but we played till the end. We fought till the end. And then in the Sweden game, you saw us much improved in our performance, but still breakdowns late in the game, breakdowns late in the half. We give up a lot of goals to a world-class goal scorer. With the 4 goals for the Swedish star. But we had our moments, too.
Yeah,
We had good moments. And then North Korea didn't give up any goals this year until they played Brazil. So they've given up 3 goals this year. One was to Papua New Guinea. So I couldn't believe it. I kept pitching to them that we will score, and when we score, this country is going to fall in love with you. So I was really excited to have that come true for them, because I think they deserve to go, the work they put in, they deserve to go out on a high.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Lisa Cole, thank you for taking part.
Thank you.
Okay. Lisa Cole, the coach of the PNG team to the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. After the break, the use of mobile phones in the fight against corruption.